Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Let's show how the future could look like if Elon Musk companies are all going to be successful. And this will also show how much potential there is in Tesla and why I think the stock is still very low. So let's take a little trip into the future and let's dive right in. So let me tell you a little story of your life in 10 years time. You will be driving in your full self-driving Tesla that can drop you off at work and then go work as a taxi, earning you more money while you're at work, and then come pick you up afterwards, and you don't have to go through all the terrible traffic. Your full self-driving car goes down in the tunnel made by the Boring Company, where your car drives 120 miles an hour because there's no traffic, and all the other cars in the tunnels are driving at the same speed and can speak to each other, so the car will never meet anyone in the tunnel. So you will be back at your home in no time. And when you come home, your car goes and charges itself up with the energy made from your house solar roof tiles that is being stored in your power walls. All this is controlled by the Autobidder software that makes sure if you need to pull some energy from the grid, it does in off-peak hours and sells the energy back to the grid when demand is high, making sure you will have a very little, if any, electric bill. You turn on some music in your house, but not by speaking to the Google Assistant, because you don't even have to say or touch anything, but just think it will turn on the music, because you have got a Neuralink chip in your brain that also makes you see and hear much better than you have ever done, even when you were just a child, and you now have access to all the knowledge that has ever been put on the internet. You don't have to Google it anymore. You just know it as soon as you think about it. And everything is connected and online thanks to the cheap worldwide internet provided by SpaceX Starlink. No matter where you are in the world, on top of Mount Everest or in the middle of the Sahara Desert or out on a cruise across the Atlantic Ocean, there will always be internet connection because of Starlink. And when you want to go into town and get some drinks with your friend, your car is already standing outside ready for you because it knows you want to go into town, because of the connection you have with your car through the chip in your brain. And when you want to go back, it will again be ready for you, any place, anytime. You think, I want to go home now, because the next day you'll have a very important meeting in Sydney, so your car will drive you to the launch site the next day, where you will get on the SpaceX Starship in Los Angeles. You will get to the launch pad in the Hyperloop tunnel, and you will arrive in Sydney just 38 minutes later. Taking the Hyperloop into the city center, you hold your meeting and will be back in Los Angeles in time for supper. And you and your wife are going away on a weekend trip, on a 5-star luxury trip, around the moon and back, on a Starship rocket. And on the trip, the guide talks about all the great stuff SpaceX and NASA are doing on Mars, working hard at the colony, where the Boring Company are digging tunnels and living areas beneath the surface of Mars. As you pass very close to the moon, you can see the moon base, where the new Cybertruck is being fully tested before it's going to be shipped in dozens to the next mission to Mars. Yes, all this in just 10 years' time or so could be reality. But what will Tesla actually look like at that point if everything Elon is working on will come true? Well, Tesla will no longer be a little car company, because Tesla is now the biggest company in the world. Tesla has big solar and wind power plants all over the world that are storing the energy they produce in big megapacks, making cheap energy for billions of people around the world, controlling everything with their software Autobidder, so electricity is something that is very cheap and available for every person on Earth. And it's not just the biggest power plant that are making energy for people around the world. Tesla's virtual power plant are being worked on in pretty much every city in the world. It is so cheap to install and can give you pretty much free sustainable energy for the whole community you are living in. So why would any city turn this down? Every house that is being built around the world is being built with solar roof tiles. It is just as cheap as a normal roof, so no one will buy them anymore, because it will also provide you with free energy. And Tesla has the cheapest solar tiles in the world, so they will be the market leader. Tesla is one of the world's biggest players in the energy business, earning trillions. And Tesla now has over 70 million full self-driving cars around the world, being part of the world's biggest full self-driving taxi fleet. And Tesla is the world's biggest car manufacturer, making about 20 million cars a year, expanding their ever-growing fleet of full self-driving cars. Tesla is also making many terawatt hours of battery every year and has become the world's biggest battery producer, providing battery for most of the car industry, energy storage and a lot more, because Tesla has the world's cheapest battery. And if we look at Elon's other business that is also helping Tesla, SpaceX has probably become the biggest privately owned company, moving people around the world and to the moon and Mars, and providing the whole planet with cheap internet that is accessible everywhere on the planet. The Boring Company is busy digging tunnels under every major city in the world, getting rid of the soul-crushing traffic in the cities, and some big cities in Europe has already become so much more quiet place after most of the traffic has gone and most of the cars that are allowed to drive in the cities are all being electric. Neuralink is fast becoming a household name around the world. More and more people are getting the Neuralink implant to be able to see and hear much better, helping people with diseases and having access to all knowledge in the world, and to be able to keep up with the rising use of AI. Yes, it all sounds very sci-fi, and some of it may not happen or happen a couple of years later, but this is what Elon is pretty much aiming for. And if everything, of course, goes as planned, this is probably what will happen, because Elon does always deliver. A lot can go wrong along the way, nothing is certain, but this is also just to try to show why Tesla is valued so high in the stock market. That is because the stock market is a machine trying to predict the future and betting money on how this will turn out. And Tesla has so much potential, not just in cars, but everything. And right now people are still comparing them to Volkswagen and GM and other car companies, but in 10 years' time, GM and Volkswagen will not have changed the world as Tesla has the potential to do. If they're still alive, they will probably still just be a car company and probably a customer of Tesla, buying batteries, software, hardware, powertrains and so on. Who knows? But this is why Tesla is valued so high. And if the future I have just described would come true, or just half of it, Tesla will still, even with this crazy high valuation it has today, be very, very, very undervalued. The value of making energy, providing energy, storing energy, selling energy, controlling energy is huge. And the full self-driving will be one of the fastest growing businesses in the history of the world when they get the green light to turn it on. And suddenly have millions of full self-driving cars making Tesla money every single day. This is truly going to be something that would go down in history. It can of course all still fail. But this is why there are so many analysts saying this will never happen and giving Tesla a value of a normal tiny car company, and others that believe that Tesla is the leader in all these areas and will succeed, and therefore giving them this seemingly crazy high valuation. But time will tell who was right. But this video was just to try to make people understand if Tesla succeed. And so far Elon has delivered on everything he said he would, making all the Teslas, building the gigafactories, making rockets reusable, putting humans into space on private rockets and so on. Then Tesla will easily be the most valuable company in the world. I for one am just so excited about the next 10 years. They are going to be absolutely crazy. They're going to happen so much I don't even think I have the imagination to think of and even realize the change it will make to our world. We are living in a very exciting time. Very cool and exciting and scary at the same time, as a good science fiction always is. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.